Hello and good morning. This is the Breville Oracle Jet, model BES985 in black truffle. As you saw in the photos, it's a very clean unit. This one was a trade-in. It's only been used for a few months, I'd say about 6 months. Very lightly used, excellent condition. Has some minor wear and tear. So mainly around the front here where the cup may have contacted the back plate. And there's a couple of chips here on the front. They're visible, but you can probably hide them with a black marker. And the front tray has a few minor scratches, but it's got this protective tray that comes with it in the box. So it's gonna hide all of the scratches on the front here. Otherwise, the machine is basically as new, I would say. Very clean. Works like new, still under warranty. And in this video, I'll be making a coffee. So my morning latte. I'll be demonstrating all the features and hopefully teaching you a thing or two about coffee making in case this was your first coffee machine. I like to begin every session with a blank shot. In fact, I've got exactly the same model. I've got a silver Oracle Jet here. That's my personal machine, and this is the one I'm selling. So I really like this model. I like to begin with a warm-up. So basically, you grab the portafilter. You install it in the group head here in the middle and you run some water. So it's a blank shot, no coffee. Get your cup underneath and run a double shot of water. That's going to warm up. That's going to do a couple of things. Firstly, obviously, it's going to warm up with that hot water. It's going to warm up the portafilter and it's going to warm up the cup. This machine has a new heating system that's called the Thermo Jet. That's why the machine is called the Oracle Jet. The nice thing about it is that when you turn on the machine, the boiler is ready to go in 5 seconds. That doesn't mean that it's hot. That doesn't mean that everything is hot. It just means that it can start to brew coffee after 5 seconds when you turn it on. So that's why I recommend warming up the portafilter and the cup, because those will be room temperature when you turn it on and the machine is ready in 5 seconds. So you want to warm these up, otherwise your shot may taste cold and it may taste sour. That's what happens when you sap the heat out of your shot too quickly. It'll make the shot sour. You can do that once or twice. I think once should be okay. That's the first thing. It's going to warm up your machine. The other thing is that it's going to do a bit of cleaning. It's going to rinse the shower screen. It's going to rinse the portafilter and basket. So if there's any coffee grounds or oils that are remaining from the previous shot, it will clean those right off. So it's pretty good. Now I'm going to be using the single basket here. This takes about 10 to 12 grams of coffee. In fact, I'm going to confirm that with my scale, just in case you're curious as to the dose going in and out. Just put it there. Make sure it's on 0. There we go. Very important to add good quality beans. Most supermarket beans are actually not fresh, so I would avoid most supermarket beans. If you can, try to buy local fresh roasted coffee from a roaster or a cafe that sells beans. The only supermarket bean that I would trust is Aldi. It's the Aldi Lazio brand. They're very good. Not a sponsor, but they're the only supermarket beans that are actually fresh and give good results, in my opinion. Other brands have gotten close, but because the Aldi beans are roasted in Melbourne, they even have the roast date on the packet, so you know exactly how old the bag of beans is. Whereas most other supermarket beans are like roasted overseas or interstate and could be many months old by the time they hit the shelves, which is not good. So grinding is super simple on this machine. The whole machine is pretty easy to use, I would say. You've got the grind size selection on the left. You've got the grinding cradle or the grinding area here, where it will grind the coffee and also press and tamp the coffee in the basket. The middle is the group head brewing area, and on the right here is obviously the milk frother. You can use the machine in automatic frothing on the milk. You can also use it manually, so controlling the temperature and the froth level like a barista by holding the jug and positioning the jug in a different angle. You can select the level of foam and how smooth the milk comes out, which is pretty good. I'll be using it in automatic. The grinding, you've got the grind size selector here. This will dictate how coarse or how fine the coffee is. So a small grind size means finer particles, means slower shot. A larger grind size means larger coffee particles and a quicker shot speed. I hope that makes sense. There's no correct number for every bean. In fact, these are two identical machines. I can have the exact same beans on these two machines, and when I get the correct settings, they'll probably be at different numbers. So I can't give you a magic number to stick with. You just have to make a coffee and adjust it accordingly until you arrive at the perfect grind size. The perfect grind size is one that gives you a 2-to-1 ratio coffee in 30 seconds. What does that mean? The basket takes, let's say, 10 grams. You want your shot to be 20 grams, let's say 2-to-1 ratio. So you want your shot to be 20 grams, and it should take about 25 or 30 seconds. If you do the shot and the shot takes 10 seconds, then that's too quick. You need to grind finer to slow it down. If your 20-gram shot takes 50 seconds or a minute, that's way too slow. You need to increase the grind size to speed it up. I'm gonna adjust it to, let's select the smallest amount, ristretto. This is gonna give me about 20 or 25 grams from memory of coffee, 25 grams, 25 mils. I'm using grind size 28. I'm gonna get rid of this. Get rid of this, probably in the bin. I should have mentioned, when you change beans or you change grind sizes, you need to get rid of the first few seconds of coffee ground. Reason is because the machine collects about 2 or 3 grams of coffee inside. That's old beans at old grind size. So I'm just going to restart this. As usual, I spoke for too long, and the scale turned off. Let me start again. Huh. This scale must be much heavier than this one. Anyway, it's hard to tell how many grams this is now because I've forgotten to keep the scale on. But yeah, it's usually between 10 to 12 grams. Let's just assume it's 12, okay? Looks like it's grinding quite a bit. So it's quite a full portafilter here. You can adjust the dose actually by going inside and tinkering with the screw height. There's a screw that you can increase or decrease the height of to increase or decrease your shot, the shot strength or the dose going in. Let's assume it's 12, okay? And that's grind size 28. Now it's hard to tell whether this will be. It's hard to tell whether this is the correct grind size or not. It looks a little bit too fine, so I'm gonna assume that it's gonna run very slowly, but we'll see. Make sure my scale is on 0. It's running on the slower side, I would say. It's coming out in drips rather than in a consistent stream. So I'm going to stop that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the grind size a little bit larger. So from 28 to 30 or 32. Let's just say 30 so you don't overshoot. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to reduce the dose. I think the machine is dosing a little bit too much coffee. So I'm going to reduce that by adjusting the screw here. Okay, I've increased the temp height by maybe a couple mils. I'm going to start again, increase the grind size to 30 by 2 numbers. Awesome. What do we get? 12 grams. So maybe before it was more than 12 grams. Awesome. Looks like it's the right dose. There we go. So I've got this calibration tool. It's called the razor tool. It will tell me how high or how deep the coffee is. It basically I just do this to remove the top layer of coffee, and it basically is flush. You can reduce the dose a little bit more, but it's pretty flush already. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's double check. Yeah, 11 and a half. Lock it in. See, much easier to put the water filter on because it's the correct dose. Reset my cup and my scale to 0. Good. Let's see what this shot does. Much better. It's actually coming in a consistent stream now. It's at the 20-second mark now. Let's see where we stop. There you go, that's a 28-second shot. And looks like we've got about 20 to 30 grams. 27. Doing this for so long helps you eyeball things. So yeah, that's spot on at 27 grams. We were aiming for like 25. We got 12 in, we wanted 24, 25. So this is a perfect shot, I would say, in my opinion. It started at the 7 or 8 second mark, stopped at the 27-second mark. It's 27 grams, which is a 2-to-1 ratio. So this is the perfect shot, I would say. If you continue to use this setting with these beans, you may get similar results to me. But when you receive the machine, you might have to adjust it a little bit based on what comes out. Again, each machine will behave differently with different beans. So the most important thing is that you just, if you have a scale, try to get it. If you don't have a scale, get one. But if you have one, use it. Measure the inputs and the outputs. More importantly, really, the output. The input, we know it's between 10 and 12 grams. The output can vary a lot based on the grind size. So if you're getting too much coffee too quickly, reduce your grind size by a few numbers and try again. If you're getting too little coffee in a very long time, increase the grind size to speed it up. But yeah, that's the shot. I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar. I think you should add the sugar or the sweetener or the flavors before the coffee is brewed. I just forgot to do that because of the video. But yeah, it's recommended to add your sweeteners in advance. That's a lot of sugar, but that's fine. Add them in advance so that they mix nicely with the coffee as it brews and as it comes down. And if you want, even you can add a little bit of hot water to your cup, to the bottom of your cup, maybe 2 or 3 mils, to help the sugar dissolve. That's what I usually do. I press this button here. It gives me hot water straight from the tap here, so it bypasses the group head coffee. So it'll be clean hot water. This is good for things like a long black Americano style coffee. You can brew tea bags with it. You can warm up your cup with it. Or you can just add a little bit of water to help the sugar dissolve, as I do. So that's the shot done. Let's convert this into a latte by adding some steamed milk. I'm going to use 60 degrees Celsius. I'm going to use microfilm level 5, which I believe is about halfway. It goes up to 8 or 9. So it goes up to 8. Let's use number 5, which is like 60% froth level, let's say. And yeah, so this will give you an idea of what halfway is. If you want, you can always go up higher to get more foam for a cappuccino, or if you like flat whites rather, then you can do that as well. With flat whites, the milk foam level would be less. Alright, so this is my milk jug. It's very similar to the one that you get, as you saw in the photos. So to start steaming, it's very simple. In the automatic setting, you just select your settings as I did here. Make sure it's down, put your milk jug, make sure it's centered, and then start. And in the meantime, you can go clean your hands or sort some things out. It's almost there. Looks like a really good result. When you take it out, make sure you grab a wet towel or a tissue and give it a good wipe. Very easy to clean this wand. It's insulated, so it doesn't actually get too hot. It's made with 2 layers. On the previous oracles, you'd have to have a wet towel and scrub really hard to clean the wand from the milk from the wand, because obviously it gets really hot and it like bakes onto it. But it's very easy on this model. That's what I love about it. And then when you push it down, it'll auto clean. It'll pulse a couple times. There we go. And just give it another wipe just in case. It sometimes splatters and sprays a bit of milk around here where the tray is. So just wipe that off so it doesn't stain over time. And yeah, that's about it. When you finish, your milk may have some bubbles. You can clear those bubbles by knocking the jug on the counter a couple times and swirling. Keep doing that and then swirl, and then you'll know that you've got the right texture once your milk looks like wet paint. That's what people usually describe it as. When it's nice smooth layer on top, that's when you're ready to pour. If it's bubbly, just keep knocking it on the counter and keep swirling it around. So, like with all automatic machines, they can do a decent job of foaming the milk, but not a perfect job like a barista would be able to do. So in this case, I got a couple centimeters of foam, pretty good. I got some semblance of a heart. So you can do latte art if you're in the manual mode. If you do the frothing perfectly like a barista would on the manual mode, you'll get really silky milk, and you can do really great latte art. On the automatic setting, Obviously, it's not going to be as perfect as a trained human would be able to do, but it's okay to drink. It's not okay to do perfect latte art. But anyway, that's what I got. More importantly, it's like 1.5 centimeters of foam, so really good foam. And that's not even the maximum level. You can go higher and get more foam. We can go less and get smoother milk. But that's the result. Looks like a delicious latte anyway, despite the not very good drawing skills up here. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Hope you enjoy the machine, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.